When watching a Supernova Productions presentation, it is important to remember the Supernova's Guide to Not Being a Dumbass. This guide involves the watch principle, which goes as follows. Watch where you watch this video. This video contains emergency alert system tones that, if played near EAS equipment, such as encoders or HAM radios, could cause an activation of the emergency alert system. Unauthorized activations of the emergency alert system are federal offenses. The charge for a federal offense could range from $20,000 to $1 million. You could also spend a few months to 5 years in jail. Adjust your volume accordingly. This video contains loud noises that can cause ear damage. The creator of the video, Supernova/Hypernova, will not be responsible for any ear damage caused by this video. Tune to another video if need be. This video may contain noises that could be upsetting to viewers with noise sensitivity or neurological conditions, such as ADHD or autism spectrum disorder. In addition, this video may contain topics that could be triggering to some viewers. These topics include, but are not limited to, mentions or depictions of war, self-harm, horror, violence, death, and various others. Viewer discretion is advised. Click away if need be. This video may contain flashing lights, which could have negative effects for photosensitive viewers. Have some basic humility. Do not steal this video or re-upload without permission from the owner. Doing so may result in a DMCA strike on your channel. Remember the watch principle of Supernova's Guide to Not Being a Dumbass while viewing this presentation, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Good morning, Toledo, and thank you for tuning in to WNWO's NBC News at 11. I am anchor Jacob Keith. We have a multitude of stories today, with the first story coming from the United States Geological Survey. The USGS, along with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, have reported a sudden uptick in the speed of the seafloor spreading across the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. This has caused the continents of North and South America to move closer to Asia and Oceania dangerously quicker than before, along with pushing Africa closer to Europe and Asia. NOAA and the USGS have sounded the alarm on the situation, saying that this could have disastrous effects on the planet, stating that in the next 2 to 5 years we could all see continents crashing into each other due to this, which could cause the forming of a new supercontinent. While this all seems extremely cool and interesting, the USGS warns of potential side effects of this, such as major earthquakes, tsunamis, and loss of human life. This is especially true for those along the west coast of the Americas and those on the northeastern coast of Africa. The USGS also warns that western Alaska could begin crashing with eastern Siberia within a month, fully joining together in about 6 months or a year. Governor Mike Dunleavy has warned the citizens of Alaska not to panic, but has also advised Alaskan residents to be ready to evacuate within the coming months. Many governors, along with the USGS, are advising residents not to panic, but also to be, quote, ready for the worst in the coming months. The president has given increased funding to the USGS to assist them in looking for the cause of this phenomenon, and how to potentially stop it or slow it down. We at WNWO advise all residents to not panic, and not to worry too much, especially considering where Toledo is in the United States. We'd be safe from most danger. However, you should continue to tune into WNWO's NBC News to receive the latest updates on the situation. In other news, the CDC recommends measures against the novel coronavirus, which entered the United States 2 days ago from Chinese New Year travel. Trump is considering imposing travel restrictions from China to the US, or vice versa.
口さんは BBC のあら
遠くの方に行ってしまいましたね、小西さん。
すいません、画面戻りますでしょうかね。
はい、
ありがとうございます。
お帰りなさい。
横浜市旭区でマンホールから突然大量の水が噴き出しました。
これは私たちの地域のための早期の津波警告です。以下の手順に注意してください。丈夫な構造の高台の場所をすぐに追求しなさい。あなたが海岸から十分に離れて住んでいる場合は、今すぐ避難してください。さらなる情報は一時的に中継されます。これは私たちの地域のための早期の津波警告です。以下の手順に注意してください。丈夫な構造の高台の場所をすぐにこれは日本地質調査所からのメッセージです。南北アメリカプレートがユーラシアプレートにゆっくりと近づいているために、日本の東海岸を襲うと予想された45メートルの津波のような複数の地質学的な上覧が報告されています。この津波に襲われると予想される都市には、東京、横浜、川崎が含まれます。これらの都市内のすべての住民は、すぐに避難するか、高い地面を求めるべきです。この津波は20から30分以内に到着すると予想されます。避難を選択した場合は、自衛隊がこれらの都市に難民避難所を設置しているため、水戸、京都、大阪に避難してください。彼らはあなたのために提供されますように、食品や水は持参する必要はありません。あなたの家族を救出しようとしないでください。彼らはすでにこれらの政府の認可避難所に避難されているように、施設から津波が襲った後でさえ、大規模な洪水が進行しているかもしれないか、都市への大規模な被害が起こったかもしれないので、存在しないか、避難所にあなたの避難所が重い損傷の兆候を報告している場合にのみ、あなたの避難所から出発してください。あなたが外や地下にいる場合は、すぐに地面の上に取得します。水が後退したら、すべてのクリアがあなたの避難所から出発するのを待ちます。最初の津波は、最後の、または最大のものではないかもしれません。あなたが避難するつもりがない場合は、次のものを収集することをお勧めします。食べ物やボトル入りの水の十分な量、1週間続く衣類、この状況に緊急の更新を受け取るために、携帯用充電器を備えたバッテリー駆動のラジオや携帯電話、遅れたり、今すぐ避難したり、今より高い地面を求めたりしないでください。政府の頻度、または更新のための A アラート緊急警報システムにお楽しみに。このような状況。
This is a message from the Geological Survey of Japan. Due to the North and South American plates slowly inching closer to the Eurasian plate, multiple geological disturbances have been reported, such as a 45-meter tsunami expected to hit the eastern coast of Japan. The cities expected to be struck by this tsunami include Tokyo, Yokohama, and Kawasaki. All residents within these cities should evacuate or seek high ground immediately. This tsunami is expected to arrive within 20 to 30 minutes. If you choose to evacuate to Mito, Kyoto, or Osaka, as the self-defense forces have set up refugee shelters in these cities. Food and water are not required to be brought, as they will be provided for you. Do not attempt to rescue your family from facilities, as they are already being evacuated to these government-sanctioned shelters. Even after the tsunami strikes, do not exit your shelter or return to the cities, as major flooding may be ongoing, or major damage to the cities could have occurred. Only depart from your shelter if your shelter is reporting signs of heavy damage. If you are outside or underground, get above ground immediately. Once the waters recede, wait for the all clear to depart from your shelter. The first tsunami may not be the last, or the largest. You are advised to gather the following if you do not intend to evacuate: an adequate amount of food and bottled water, clothing to last 1 week, a battery-powered radio or mobile phone with a portable charger to receive emergency updates on this situation. Do not delay, evacuate now or seek higher ground now. Stay tuned to a government frequency, or the J-Alert emergency alert system for updates on this situation.
أطلقت هيئة المسح الجيولوجي في تبوك والمدينة المنورة ومكة المكرمة والباحة وعسيرا وجاز عن السفارة الإنذار. يرجى الاستماع إلى التعليمات التالية: اذهب إلى الباطل، البقاء تحت قطعة ساس متينة، قم بتغطية رقبتك ورأس طيبك، ترقب التلفزيون المحلي أو المحطة الحكومية للحصول على مزيد من المعلومات. The Geological Survey in its habits, Al-Madinah, Mecca, Al-Baha, Asir, and Zayn, have sounded the danger alarm siren. Please listen to the following instructions. Go indoors, stay under a sturdy piece of furniture, cover your neck and head with your hand. Stay tuned to your local television or government station for further information. يجب على جميع سكان محافظة تبوك والمدينة المنورة ومكة المكرمة والباحة وعسيرا وجازا الإخلاء الآن. تحدث الزلازل الكبرى وأمواج تسونامي عبر البحر الأحمر بسبب اقتراب قارة إفريقيا من أوروبا وهذا الملف. وقد أثارت هيئة المساحة الجيولوجيات السعوديات ناقوس الخطر بشأن هذا الوضع، ونصحت أي شخص يعيش على الساحل الغربي للبلاد الإخلاء إلى الداخل. يفضل الإخلاء عن طريق الزوات، حيث سيتم أيضا استخدام الطرق السريعة والطرق للقوات البريات الملكية السعوديات لإجلاء وإنقاذ السكان. عند الإخلاء أنت يجب أن تأخذ الضروريات مثل الغذاء والماء ومستلزمات الإسعافات الأولية والأدوية وغيرها من البنود مثل الملابس والوثائق القانونيات الهامة أو الأوراق والمال، وسيلة لتلقي المعلومات في حالات الطوارئ. لا تعود إلى المنزل بمجرد انتهاء الزلازل وأمواج تسونامي، حيث ستظل في خطر، حيث قررت الحكومة عدم إعادة بناء المنطقة المدمرة. كما ستكون دمرت مرة أخرى مرة واحدة بلدنا يدمج مع قارة إفريقيا. لا تتأخر، ستضرب الزلازل تأتي المقابر 8 أو على الساحل قريبا، إلى جانب أمواج تسونامي بارتفاع يتراوح من 35 إلى 45 مترا. من أجل سلامتك، إخلاء الآن. وستبذل الحكومة قصارى جهدها لإنشاء ملاجئ للاجئين في المقاطعات المحيطة لمساعدة الأفراد المتضررين. إخلاء الآن. تكرار: إخلاء الآن. إخلاء إذا كنت في منطقة حذر. All residents in its habits, Al-Madinah, Mecca, Al-Baha, Asir, and Zayn provinces should evacuate now. Major earthquakes and tsunamis are occurring across the Red Sea due to the continent of Africa moving closer to Europe and this country. The Saudi Geological Survey has raised the alarm on this situation, and have advised anyone who lives on the west coast of the country to evacuate inland. Evacuate preferably via air, as highways and roads will also be used for the Royal Saudi Land Forces to evacuate and rescue residents. When evacuating, you should take necessities like food, water, first aid supplies and medication, and other items like clothing, important legal documents or papers, money, and a medium to receive emergency information. Do not return home once the earthquakes end. Tsunamis end, and you will still be in danger, as the government has decided not to rebuild destroyed areas, as they will be destroyed again once our country merges with the continent of Africa. soon not delay. Earthquakes of magnitude 8 or higher will strike the coast soon, along with tsunamis with heights of 35 to 45 meters. For your safety, evacuate now. The government will do its best to set up refugee shelters in surrounding provinces to help affected individuals. Evacuate now. Repeating, evacuate now.
Good evening and welcome to another premiere of News Nation on WGN America. I am your host, Jonathan Lamb, delivering you factual news from your nation without opinion or bias. Tonight we will cover the latest breaking news stories across the nation, such as the recent merging of Alaska and Siberia sparking massive issues for both Russia and the United States and potential border conflicts. In addition to this, several areas of the West Coast are still without power from many of the earthquakes caused by seafloor spreading phenomenon. On top of this, a major refugee crisis occurs across the globe due to small island nations either completely merging with big countries or being swallowed by the oceans. All of this and more on this tonight of Balance Without Bias. It's Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022. This is the debut of News Nation. Starting our news tonight with the recent and heavily devastating merge of the state of Alaska and eastern Siberia due to the increased seafloor spreading, which has now been dubbed the Pangea's revenge phenomenon. This has caused major displacement residents within Alaska and the few residents who resided in the merged region of Siberia. An estimated $230 billion in damage have occurred, which has set the record for the most expensive natural disaster in American history, even beating out the 2005 Hurricane Katrina disaster. This has also caused major loss of oil rigs and fields across the coast of Alaska and eastern Siberia, causing oil prices to skyrocket across the country, and other countries that rely on US and Russian oil also have their oil prices skyrocket. The new average gas price is currently $7 per gallon, beating out the inflation of March during the Russo-Ukrainian war when gas prices got up to $5.20 per gallon. The new merging has also caused new border issues between the United States and Russia, with President Vladimir Putin attempting to claim most of Alaska as now Russian territory due to most of it merging with Siberia. However, President Biden is refuting those claims, stating that Alaska is still formally part of the Union and will remain under US control. Both Russia and the United States have claimed that no attacks or conflict will occur as long as US or Russian troops do not go too far into one another's territory. The United Nations is currently holding a referendum among UN members how new borders should be drawn, and should more than 4/5 of members agree on one of the border proposals, it will be enforced as the official borders between the two countries. Coming up, we have a new refugee crisis among not only Alaskans but other small countries, such as the Maldives, Fiji, and the Solomon Islands, Palau, East Timor, and West Papua, due to them merging or going under. An estimated 1.2 million residents have been misplaced and around 430,000 dead or injured due to Pangea's revenge, which the United Nations has officially declared a global emergency, urging all governments to prepare their nations for either complete destruction or merging within the next year or two. The refugee crisis has also come with nasty effects among the populace of many countries affected, with hate protests targeted at the refugees and people calling out their nations to not harbor the refugees, Many of these protests are turning violent, especially in the United States, which has prompted the National Guard to be deployed in multiple states to keep the peace. The United States Geological Survey has also made little progress in finding a solution or way to slow Pangea's revenge, stating the residents should be ready for earthquakes and geological disturbances to only get worse from here. And with that, we'll turn to the weather across the country. Many areas across the middle and eastern United States are under winter storm watches and blizzard watches, as well as ice storm warnings being in effect for Illinois and Indiana, with ice storms expected to hit northwestern and northeastern.
The following is a National Information Center statement declared by the White House. Listen to this broadcast very carefully. Over the past 3 years, the Pangea's revenge phenomenon has caused massive damage to both coasts of the United States, along with many island territories and states. The state of Hawaii, territories of Guam, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, and American Samoa have all been completely engulfed by the ocean and are no longer considered part of the Union. This has caused massive refugee and humanitarian crises across the country. In addition to this, major rioting and looting has been occurring across the country in response to Pangea's revenge, which has resulted in massive damage to many areas of the country. Due to this, the President is enacting swift and decisive measures to prevent further chaos. These measures are as follows. For states west of the Mississippi River, excluding Louisiana, a 7 p.m. curfew will be in effect. Residents will be required to return home by this time and will be able to leave at 7 a.m. Exemptions for this are for work shifts and emergencies. The National Guard will be deployed during the night to keep cities safe. This was done due to the western United States reporting the most rioting, especially the states of California, Nevada, Montana, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, and Nebraska. Do not participate in these riots. You will be arrested and punished to the fullest extent of the law. Shelters have also been set up for residents displaced by Pangea's revenge. These shelters can be found on www.fema.gov. Food, water, and medical supplies will be provided for you. For states east of the Mississippi River, including Louisiana, you are advised to get away from any coastlines and areas prone to flooding, as the earthquakes and continental drift is causing major flooding and tsunamis. The United States Geological Survey has stated that in the coming months, if Pangea's revenge doesn't slow or stop, a geological disaster could occur, far beyond anything humanity has experienced, which could lead to the formation of a new supercontinent. While this cannot be confirmed at the time, residents should be ready for the following within the next 2 to 9 months. Earthquakes of Richter scale magnitude 10 or higher, megatsunamis of 170 to 220 feet, or higher massive power outages due to circuit damages, changing climates due to shifting continent locations, potential geological disturbances that could cause situations such as small-scale burn shots, or volcanic eruptions that could range from dormant small volcanoes becoming active, or supervolcanic eruptions. You are also advised to gather food, water, clothing, medical supplies, cell phones, phone chargers, toiletries, important documents, money, and a battery-powered, hand crank, or weather radio with extra batteries, and with enough of these resources to last 5 to 16 months, as it will most likely take the United States government a while to enact the planned contingency protocols that were created in response to this event. For now, continue to monitor reliable media outlets for further information regarding the situation. Updates will continue to be provided via the emergency alert system and on www.whitehouse.gov, www.fema.gov, and www.esps.gov. This message will now cease transmission, and normal programming will resume. Thank you for your cooperation.
We interrupt your regular programming. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. This is an emergency action notification requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS operating handbook for a national level emergency. The President of the United States or one of her representatives will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by. This is an emergency action notification requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS operating handbook for a national level emergency. The President of the United States or one of...
And now, a message from a representative of the President of the United States.
America, it pains me that I must relay this message to you all. I am speaking on behalf of the President as he cannot appear on the air at this time. The phenomenon, known as Pangea's revenge, has been causing the process of continental drift to dramatically speed up, causing many severe geological events, such as volcanic eruptions, mega tsunamis, mega quakes, mass flooding, and even whole nations to become underwater monuments. Even some of our holdings have fallen victim to the ocean, like Guam, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and many more. The state of Alaska has already merged with the country of Russia, and the North American continent continues to move towards Asia. The President, the United States Geological Survey, and the United Nations have come to a disturbing and heartbreaking realization. There is no way of stopping Pangea's revenge. Within a week, we will collide with the continents of Asia and Australia, merging with them together. This is also true for the continents of Africa, Antarctica, and South America. This will cause catastrophes never seen before by the human race. However, one thing that can be confirmed is that human civilization can continue to live on after this tragedy. This is not the end of the world or the end of humanity. We have a chance to persevere and rebuild. With this in mind, the President has already devised a contingency plan to help mitigate the devastation. All residents in the states on any coastline, be it the East Coast, West Coast, or the Gulf of Mexico, are required to evacuate further inland among the state or to other areas of the United States. Residents within earthquake-prone states and in cities within the state with a population above 250,000 will also be required to evacuate to a less prone area of the state or to a different state entirely. This is being done due to the fact that when the continents collide with each other, the coastlines will be wiped off the face of the planet with no living being surviving. For residents not on coasts or in earthquake-prone areas, you are advised to gather essential items such as food, water, clothing, medications, and other first aid supplies, cellular phones and chargers, important documents like birth certificates, house deeds, money, and a battery-powered hand crank or weather radio with extra batteries or a charger to receive further information, as the United States government will be giving timely emergency updates on this situation. Many will be scared, many will panic. I'll admit I'm even shocked and concerned at this. However, I believe there is hope that we will persevere. We have persevered through many perilous situations and situations that could have ended humanity or greatly affected our survival. The 1816 Year Without a Summer, the 1963 Cuban Missile Crisis, the 2012 coronal mass ejection, and even the human population bottleneck in ancient times. And that was back when we were cavemen fighting with sticks and stones. We persevered then, and we will persevere now. Rest assured, America, we will all be able to see each other once more, even after this tragedy. But for now, I will end my message here. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America, and furthermore, the world.
Good evening, Seattle residents, and thank you for tuning into King 5 News, bringing you the latest news from Seattle and surrounding areas. We have a breaking news story that we unfortunately have to tell. Today, the White House has confirmed that, with current technology, the Pangea's revenge phenomenon cannot be prevented or even delayed. The phenomenon, which has been causing the continents to drift at an extremely accelerated rate, will lead to the merging of all 7 continents, forming a new supercontinent known as Novo Pangea. Seattle, along with the rest of the western coast of the United States, is on a direct collision course for Southeast Asia. Earthquakes have destroyed many homes, and most residents have been forced to flee inland. However, some have chosen to remain here despite the destruction, not wanting to leave their lifelong home. The majority of King County is still without power and has fallen into chaos. Rioting and looting is rampant across the county. Businesses that had any stock left after the first wave of panic buying have been completely cleaned out by looters, leaving many residents without food and water. Many countries have been devastated by Pangea's revenge. Some have officially declared dissolution due to economic collapse. Others have been utterly destroyed, either swallowed by the sea or by earthquakes. The destruction of oil rigs across the globe has led to gas prices skyrocketing, and with the crumbling of truck routes and freeways, most gas stations have completely dried up within weeks. The economy has completely collapsed. Wait, what was that? We have just received notification of an emergency broadcast from the White House and will relay it now. Stand by as we participate in the emergency alert.
King 5 is a participant of the emergency alert system. The following message is transmitted at the request
Welcome, Richmond, to CBS 6 News at 7. I would have welcomed with something like, "Good evening, everyone," or "Hope your day is doing well." But, let's be honest, it would be inappropriate considering neither my or your day is good right now. And we all know why. The continents have collided and merged with each other, forming the Novo Pangea continent. This, while it may sound cool, has caused massive, and I mean massive, damage across the globe. Already, poor countries like Liberia and Myanmar have been completely ruined and declared their end. Hell, even rich nations have, with both North and South Korea declaring the collapse of their country and government, with Japan and New Zealand being on the brink. Nearly every border, except for maybe Europe, has already been messed up, with multiple countries merging and being connected to each other. The damage at home has been tremendous. The nationwide riots last week have nothing on the damage caused by this event. It's terrible. Barely any good news is coming from this. Aside from the fact that 1. We have a lot more mountain ranges from the continents colliding and bending. And 2. The USGS has stated that Pangea's revenge has slowed down massively after the collision. But it's still going at rates faster than usual. What implications this could have, we simply don't know right now. What we do know is that the casualty count is massive, with 35 million dead and 67 million injured. This event already has a higher death count than the 9/11, Pearl Harbor, Galveston storm of 1900, the Holocaust, or Stalin's Purge, which, mind you, the Holocaust had a death count of 6 million, and Stalin's Purge had a combined death count estimated to be either 4 to 20 million. It's just horrifying and gut-wrenching to think about. Some of the images of the aftermath are so gory that I don't think I can show them. FEMA and the World Health Organization predict this is only a precursor to what's to come in the following days, stating that by the end of the week, fatalities could reach 115 million due to fires and other natural disasters. The president still haven't enacted the plan detailed in the national broadcast last week, which could seriously leave any left behind in broken down cities, structures to die, receiving no help whatsoever. After effects could potentially bring the worst life of humanity has ever seen, according to the United Nations, with estimates stating that whether in a year or two, more than 1.6 billion people could die globally. Keep in mind, the global population only reached 8.1 billion in around March of this year, and 1.6 is more than the entire population of China. This would bring the population back to 6 or 5 billion people, which hasn't been seen since, the 80s? 90s? The 2020s are almost over, halfway even. This is just horrifying. Can we switch to the weather or something? This is seriously messing with my head talking.
This is your weather radio station KJY 94 in Chicoche, operating on a frequency of 162.450 MHz. Programming originates from the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Norman, Oklahoma, and comes to you thanks to Pioneer Telephone Cooperatives. The current time is 6:23 a.m. Central Daylight Time. An air quality warning remains in effect for the state of Oklahoma until 4:52 p.m. Central Daylight Time Wednesday. An excessive heat warning remains in effect for all of Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas until 7:39 p.m. Central Daylight Time tomorrow. Here is the hazardous weather outlook for Chickasha and surrounding areas. This morning, slight northeast winds, with some potential for light rain in the late morning, fizzling out in the afternoon. For this afternoon and tonight, partly sunny skies with winds decreasing around evening. Road conditions are expected to be clear, however visibility along many roads will be greatly blocked due to smoke and ash from wildfires. Travel is not advised at this time. Tomorrow, severe thunderstorms expected, with the potential risk of tornadoes. Thunderstorms are expected to occur from the afternoon tomorrow until midnight, then clearing to mild rain. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management and the National Weather Service. Wildfires have been ravaging the southern United States, with multiple states being affected by them. Ash and smoke has clogged up the air across multiple states, making outside travel without proper masks or breathing equipment extremely deadly, with some areas being plunged in darkness due to the sun being blocked by smoke. States affected by the wildfires include Arizona, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas. Residents in the mentioned states should evacuate immediately. You are advised to evacuate by plane, as driving will be extremely hazardous due to smoke and ash clogging the air. Shelters currently are being set up, but they will not be plentiful as the United States government is being stretched thin from assessing damage, controlling unrest, and attempting to aid affected residents. As such, you are advised to gather your own supplies when heading to these shelters, as they will be lightly or not stocked with essentials. Gather the following: food, water, clothing, medical supplies, cell phones and chargers, important documents, money, and a battery-powered hand crank or weather radio with extra batteries or a charger. Do not go outside or breathe in the air, as this could have negative effects on the body, such as breathing problems, lung cancer or collapse, organ damage, heart failure, internal or external first to second degree burns, or death. If you are experiencing the following symptoms after breathing in smoke, seek medical attention immediately: runny or bloody nose, coughing or sneezing blood, breathing issues, or lethargy, blurred or loss of vision, and burning or painful sensations. Do not go back to affected states until the all clear is given, as you will be putting your life in extreme danger. Shelters mentioned earlier have been set up in surrounding states, and include Hickory Ridge Elementary School in Memphis, Tennessee, Freeport High School in Freeport, Illinois, St. John United Church of Christ in Freeport, Illinois, St. Louis Lambert International Airport in St. Louis, Missouri, Salem Memorial District Hospital in Salem, Missouri, Colorado Community Church in Aurora, Colorado, Discovery Church, Colorado in Colorado Springs, Colorado, Eagle County Regional Airport in Gypsum, Colorado, Kansas School for the Deaf in Olathe, Kansas, and Sumner Academy of Arts and Science in Kansas City, Kansas. Contraflow has been enacted on roadways leading to these shelters to help evacuations occur swiftly. Other roadways have also had their limits increased and traffic regulations shifted to help evacuation as well. Stay tuned to media outlets for further information on this situation. All stations will go offline after the end of transmission, and will only stay active to rebroadcast this message. Repeating, wildfires are ravaging the southern United States, making it unsafe for human life. Evacuate now or risk death. This broadcast will now cease transmission. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management and the National Weather Service. Wildfires have been ravaging the southern United States, with multiple states being affected by them. Ash and smoke has clogged.
to the block, welcome to the neighborhood, welcome to the hood. Pearl Milling Company isn't new to this. We've been stacking tasty, fluffy pancakes since forever. Our perfectly fluffy, syrupy goodness has been there for every special moment and will always be here. We're Pearl Milling Company. Stack up the moments. Pain hits fast, so get relief fast. Only Tylenol Rapid Release Gels have laser-drilled holes. They release medicine fast for fast pain relief. And now, get relief without a pill with Tylenol Dissolve Packs. Relief without the water.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark Frank, and you'll say, hello, summer.
Readings usual. Clear signs of aftershocks being possible. Guys are still hyper activity. Wait. No, that can't be right.
Something up, man?
Yeah. These readings are saying that Yellowstone is showing both signs of being ready for eruption.
Sure it is. What are you gonna see next? The damn Earth is about to split in half? Please, give me a break.
Man, the readings are right here. You could look her yourself.
Whatever you say, man. Wait. You weren't lying?
Why the fuck would I lie about this?
Man, our research in the past suggested that Yellowstone is winding down, not preparing to erupt. Yellowstone erupting is the type of shit you hear in movies and web stories, not the shit you would expect to hear in real life in your lifetime especially.
Hold on. So you guys are saying your readings or whatever are saying that Yellowstone is about to blow?
Yeah, all of the readings and evidence points to that.
Well, don't you guys have higher ups? Why aren't you telling this to them?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I'm talking to a rescue worker right now, who's asking about what I'm to tell them.
Yeah, haha.
You guys are weirdly nonchalant about this. Wouldn't Yellowstone cause, like, a mass extinction event?
Whoa, no way. It's almost like we didn't just witness one happen just a week and a half ago.
Yeah, man, I totally don't remember that. It's almost like the thought slipped out of my head entirely.
Anyways, yeah, she's right. We need to report this in.
Yeah, I'm also gonna tell my guys about this. I'm done with my survey anyway.
Interrupt your regular programming. This is national emergency. Important details will follow. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This broadcast pertains to an imminent and unavoidable national crisis that will occur in the coming days. Listen to this broadcast very carefully. The United States Geological Survey has discovered that the Yellowstone volcano is poised to erupt within 72 to 96 hours. This is due to a 10.7 earthquake that struck Montana and the Yellowstone caldera. This eruption will cause multiple disastrous effects, never before seen by the human race. The following will occur upon eruption of the volcano. Any organism within a 200-mile radius of Yellowstone will be killed upon eruption. This includes human beings, animals, plants, and microorganisms. A loud noise will be heard across the continent, followed by slight to extremely violent shaking depending on how far away or close you are to the volcano. Ash will rain from the skies, covering all of the continental United States, Canada, Mexico, Caribbean Ocean, and Central America in ash that will block most or all sunlight from reaching North America. Global temperatures will drop by several degrees, causing widespread hypothermia, crop failure, and other negative effects caused by extreme cold. The ozone will be completely destroyed, making any sunlight that still reaches Earth extremely unsafe to come in contact with. Ashfall will cause multiple negative effects on the body if breathed in, which could easily kill those who are outside without masks for long periods of time. This is especially true for those with respiratory issues. The United States National Guard has devised a plan to aid residents during this time. If you are within the 200-mile hell ground of Yellowstone, a siren will be sounded alerting you to evacuate. You will also be able to get evacuated by the government should you not be able to by yourself. Government evacuation stations will be marked by a specific icon along with text indicating the evacuation zone. If you are outside the 200-mile hell ground, you are still advised to evacuate, as the surrounding areas will receive the heaviest amount of ashfall. You are advised to evacuate towards states east of the Mississippi River, as they will escape the worst of the ashfall. The National Guard will also evacuate residents inside this danger zone. If you live in any state west of the Mississippi Mississippi River, you will not need to evacuate. However, you are advised to gather essentials such as masks, oxygen tanks, food and water, medications, and other items necessary for survival. The government will be providing rations every month during this crisis. However, it is not advised that you completely rely on government rations to support yourself, as rations will have to make do for most of the population. Following the eruption, there will be risks you need to look out for, such as ashfall collecting on your house's roofs and in gutters, as this could cause them to collapse due to the amount of extra weight. Periodically check your home for any damage or entrances where ashfall can enter your home, along with damage to appliances. Keep a battery-powered radio on hand in case ashfall buildup causes power lines to snap or fall, and stay tuned for emergency updates on the situation, as they could pertain to events that affect your survival, such as water contamination due to ashfall or government-mandated shelters. Keep your water running slightly throughout the night to prevent pipes from freezing over and bursting. The president has been evacuated to a safe and undisclosed location and will appear over the air shortly. Stand by for a message from the United States government. This is an emergency action notification requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS operating handbook for a national level emergency. The President of the United States or one of his representatives will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by. This is an emergency action notification requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS operating handbook for a national level emergency. The President of the United States or one of his representatives will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by. This is an emergency action notification requested by the White House. All EAS
southwestern Montana, eastern Idaho, and extreme northeastern Utah will die upon eruption. Ash avalanches and the pyroclastic flow will burn and kill all life in these areas. Pyroclastic flow is superheated ash and lava that quickly flows out from any major eruption. If you are caught within the pyroclastic flow, well, I hate to say it, but you will die. The death will be short, but extremely painful. This is why I've told everyone within these states to evacuate. This is a terrible way to go. All residents outside of this radius should still evacuate as far away from Yellowstone as you can, and you will still be in the line of fire from the first and most intensive ashfall from the eruption. As I stated earlier, anybody able to evacuate needs to do so to the northeastern United States, southeastern Florida, southern Louisiana, or southern Texas, as these will be the safest areas left after this evacuation. Immediately following the eruption, search and rescue missions will occur for areas outside of the 200-mile kill zone, and the military will be deployed across the country to enforce martial law and to help residents prepare for the coming ashfall. This is the worst of the worst case scenarios. We usually think that situations like these, along with Pangea's revenge, could happen in movies, in fiction, or times far down the line in the human race's history when we're all long dead and when humanity has advanced enough to make the issue not at all too threatening. But this is real, and it is happening right now. But there is still hope. The sun will likely return in 5 years, and the climate will begin to restabilize in around 27. Along with the ozone layer repairing, I honestly want to congratulate my Americans still with us today. We've gone through so much hardship in the past 4 years and have survived apocalyptic events. The amount of resilience, endurance, and strength it has taken for us to survive this is nothing short of incredible. Well, yes, we've had some darker periods where some fellow Americans acted irrationally and violently and used fear as an excuse to cause chaos and pain to others. Most of us have avoided that and gotten through this together as a nation, which is why I'm asking America to show that strength again. This will not be easy or nice to deal with, but we will survive and we can make it through this. There is hope and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. After this event, we will rebuild this nation from the ground up with our blood, sweat, and tears, and we will be able to once again call the United States the beautiful nation that it once was, a great nation under God. I'm now going to get off the air to allow residents to prepare and evacuate, and to allow the transmission of news emergency bulletins. Thank you for your time. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.